here today. Is David Bakhtiari playing this weekend?
Well, I can't answer that question. I think we're getting to the point where it's just day to day and kind of seeing how far we can push him, make sure he's feeling comfortable with, once he gets out there, you don't want to really take a step back. You don't want any setbacks. So, yeah, we're just kind of every day just giving him a little bit more and a little bit more and seeing, eventually he'll feel comfortable to go out there and play. I don't think any of us as coaches are going to push him to get out there faster than he feels comfortable. So that's the biggest thing. I know he really wants to get out there. So as quick as he can, he's going to.
Sorry to interrupt there. Just from what we've been able to see, and obviously from what you've been able to do, it looks like he has not had any trouble hitting benchmarks throughout this whole process.
No, you're right. He has done a really good job. Just communicating with the staff. They have a good plan, and every day he gets out there, I think he's done a great job just getting himself to that position where he should be back hopefully sometime soon.
I know you're proud of what your guys have done, Steno, but whenever David does come back, somebody's got to go to the bench. Is that news that you have to deliver to that person? How hard will that be?
Yeah, I think every guy, and I've had this conversation with some of them, just saying, hey, this is going to be a week-by-week thing with whoever's playing the best is going to be in the lineup. Obviously, once David comes back, as you said, there's going to be an odd man out. And that's a good problem to have kind of from a depth perception. As far as our depth on the roster, we got a lot of guys that can contribute and a lot of guys that have helped us win games. So it's just going to be kind of a week-by-week basis. Whoever's playing the best ball is going to be in there playing.
How impressed have you been with what Lucas has done the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, very impressed. He's a guy that continuously steps up to whatever role he's asked. And, he's not the flashiest player, but he just grinds and, whatever the team needs, he steps up and gets it done. And it hasn't been perfect by any means, and he'll be the first one to tell you that. But, yeah, I'm extremely proud of him and the stuff he's done this year and before that too.
Matt always talks about using the best five on the line. Is that a simple thing, or is it the complicating matter of is a guy better on the right side than moving the guy from the left side?
No, that all comes into play. Just, is a guy better at guard as opposed to tackle? Is he better at left guard as opposed to right guard? Right tackle as opposed to left tackle. So it's just you're putting your best five out there, but also the best five at their spots. So, yeah, that all comes into play with that.
Not talking the physical part, but how's Josh doing through the absence, and how are you keeping him involved in things?
I think, he just had surgery a couple days ago, so he's kind of getting to the mindset of, all right, it happened. Now I got to get my mind right to attack rehab and all that stuff to get back soon or as fast as possible. So he seems to be in as good a place as you can be for a guy, coming off surgery and everything like that. So, yeah, he's just doing meetings and, rehabbing and doing all that stuff, staying mentally into it until he can get back out there.
Do you think there's a chance you guys could get him back at some point this season?
I hope so, yeah. I really do. It sounds like there is a chance, so that'd be great.
Instead of going back to Lucas for a second, a couple of years ago, all the starters got the preseason off except Lane Taylor, and he kind of answered the bell, obviously, and held on to his spot with Dalton chasing him. How did you see Lucas, who was kind of put in the same spot as Lane had been, respond? Because he didn't seem to feel sorry for himself again. Maybe he got pissed off to prove you guys wrong, but how did you see him respond?
Oh, I definitely saw him, he's a prideful guy, and, he's worked hard to kind of earn his spot, and when someone else took it from him, you could definitely see he was determined to do whatever he could to get back into the lineup. And I think that's the one impressive thing about him is he's not the most athletic guy, most physically gifted guy, but he's a tough dude, and he's very prideful, and he wants to get out there and play. And so, yeah, he's a great guy to have around because you're going to want him out there as much as you can.
Is there something to guys being, called like a gamer? I mean, based on what we saw in the preseason and training camp, John Runyon was in a certain
Yeah.
spot of the depth chart, and then he got in there, and now he's not, he hasn't really given up his position. I mean, how do you explain kind of where he is now compared to August?
Yeah, I think part of that is true, but he also, when he was out there in preseason, hopefully he was treating that like a game too, and he kind of had some ups and downs in preseason as we saw. But I think the one good thing about him is he keeps learning from his mistakes, keeps fixing those things, and just making new mistakes instead of the same old ones. So that's kind of what we say in the O-line room is, don't repeat the mistakes, make new mistakes, and fix the old ones. So yeah, he's just doing a good job with that, and he just plays hard. He plays with great effort. He uses his fundamentals, and he's not perfect, but he's getting better at that. So I think, if he just keeps rolling, he's gonna do some good things around here.
Whenever Dave gets back, can Elton just go back to, hell, maybe he's not going back to left guard, but let's say he's going back to left guard. Can he just carry on like he was a Pro Bowl guy like last year? Is it really that easy?
I think for Elton, yes. I think he could go to any spot. You give him 3 or 4 days of practice, he'll be just fine. He's one of those special guys that can just do it, and it's pretty amazing. But yeah, I do. Wherever we put him, I think he'll be just fine.
With all that time,
guard or center or tackle or whatever it is.
with all that time he's spent on a tackle, is there some long-term upside there, do you think?
Yeah, maybe. I think like all of this is just giving us more options in the future to whatever we want to do. So yeah, I think so.